Happy Friday, Buffs, and welcome back to NewsTeam Boulder. I'm Nick Ambrosio. CU Boulder is marking a major milestone this year, its 150th anniversary. Earlier today, Chancellor Justin Schwartz delivered the 2026 State of the Campus Address, laying out the next phase of what the university could look like for students.
Yet while we all understand the challenging situations in the U.S. and around the globe, I firmly believe that today is our chance not to pause, but to evolve from within, to evaluate our strengths, to define our future, and leap ahead of our peers.
One of the biggest announcements directly affecting students is a plan to offer a first-year residential learning community experience for all incoming undergraduates by fall 2027 at no additional cost. University leaders say the program is designed to help first-year students build stronger peer connections and feel a sense of belonging early in their time at CU. One of the world's most recognized human rights advocates is coming to Boulder this spring. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest ever Nobel Peace Prize laureate, will serve as the closing keynote speaker for CU's 78th Conference on World Affairs. Yousafzai will close the conference with a conversation centered on hope, resilience, and global impact, drawing from her work with the Malala Fund and her continued advocacy for girls' education worldwide. The University of Colorado has announced it will roll out a specific version of ChatGPT to students, faculty, and staff this spring. The tool will be available at no further cost to all full-time and part-time students, as well as university employees, with access expected to begin March 31st. CU Boulder is discontinuing its alumni email program, meaning all alumni at colorado.edu email accounts will become inaccessible on August 31st, 2026. The university says the decision is based on security risks, licensing costs, and low usage, with just over 7% of alumni using their accounts in the past year. Current students, faculty, and staff will not be affected as long as their affiliation with CU remains active. The 2026 Winter Olympics are underway in Milan, Italy, with 8 athletes connected to the University of Colorado set to compete. That group includes 2 current members of the CU ski team and 6 alumni, representing countries including the United States, Canada, Germany, Australia, and Estonia. The Williams Village 2 redevelopment project will replace the existing Baseline Road Shopping Center with more than 400 new apartment units and ground floor commercial space. To make way for the project, several long-standing businesses are set to close or be demolished, including the Dark Horse Bar, Sprouts Farmers Market, Cosmos Pizza, Moe's Original Barbecue, Dairy Queen, and Corelli's of Boulder. The Dark Horse, a Boulder staple for decades, is scheduled to close in March. And the changes don't stop there. Frequency Dance Studio in South Boulder has closed its doors indefinitely after failing to pay rent and wages, leading to multiple lawsuits and claims from former employees and creditors. NewsTeam Boulder's Hayden Shadid spoke with former employee Abby Cherzako and CU law professor Scott Moss about the closure and legal consequences and what it reveals about worker protections in Boulder.
A competitive dance studio in South Boulder sits dark and empty, but questions about how it closed are still very much alive. Frequency Dance shut down late last year after parents and former employees raised concerns about unpaid wages and mounting financial problems. Court records and lease documents show the studio owed more than $48,000 in unpaid rent at the time it closed, adding to a pattern of unpaid bills that included thousands owed to the city, school district, competition organizers, and private lenders.
This is where it got kind of weird. If you're scheduled, you should not be a 1099 contractor. And immediately after I got my first paycheck, I realized something was wrong.
Misclassifying employees as independent contractors can allow businesses to avoid wage obligations. But in Colorado, state law requires proper payment for workers doing core duties.
The people performing the primary work of the dance studio, doing the things assigned by the dance studio, are very unlikely to be contractors, and they have to be paid in conformity with wage law.
Cherzako is pursuing a wage theft lawsuit related to her time at the studio. Separately, Boulder Police and District Attorney reviewed complaints connected to the studio but found no grounds for criminal charges.
On the one hand, you can't get blood from a stone. If there's no money, there's no money. On the other hand, individual owner or controlling person is very likely to be liable individually, even if they incorporated.
Employees say the financial instability left them unsure if they would ever be compensated for their work.
I'm thankful again to have Alex, my parents, my coworkers, So hopefully within the next few months, justice will be served.
Cindy Burdine, the studio's owner, did not respond to a request for comment. Hayden Shadid reporting for NewsTeam Boulder.
A piece of Boulder's future may soon be flying high. The Museum of Boulder is hosting a community-led competition to design an unofficial Boulder flag, an initiative aimed at sparking conversation about identity, history, and what Boulder represents today. NewsTeam's Hayden Shadid has more.
The city of Boulder has a strong sense of identity, but it doesn't have a flag to represent it. Now, the Museum of Boulder is inviting residents to design an unofficial city flag.
When I first arrived in Boulder, I was looking for a flag. I was curious where a city flag was.
The project instructs residents to reflect on Boulder's history and what defines the city today.
Boulder has really different significance for a number of people.
Rather than centering a single image, museum leaders say the process is meant to spark deeper conversations about identity and belonging.
The hope for me is that this will be an opportunity to complicate the conversation about who we are.
With Sundance set to move to Boulder in 2027, organizers say the timing adds urgency to how the city presents itself.
Now that there's a new spotlight coming and people will be here, and I think that when they come into town and see American flag, Colorado flag, and a Boulder City flag, I think that'll be pretty awesome.
Submissions for the unofficial Boulder flag are open through April, with the winning design set to debut later this spring. Reporting for NewsTeam Boulder, I'm Hayden Shadid.
Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Ambrosio. You can see NewsTeam on Fridays at 4 and Mondays at 4. We'll see you next time.